Well, it's now been more than a week since the home of Mayor Eric Adams' chief fundraiser, Rosanna Scotto, was raided by the FBI. Mayor Adams was in Washington at the time, or at least on his way to Washington to discuss the migrant crisis with the White House. And he's been very, very critical of their response. But the minute he got to D.C., he canceled a meeting and rushed back to New York. And while neither Ms. Suggs nor the mayor have been accused of any wrongdoing right now, there are a lot of questions about his response to the raid. I had a chance to sit down with the mayor one-on-one to address those questions. You were on your way to D.C. when you got word that the feds raided your top fundraiser. I'm just wondering, was it coincidence that it happened that day, or do you think it was suspect?
I can't speculate on things. We don't have the answer to so many questions. The history allows us to reflect on what happened and how things happened. I had a mission to do. Thank God we built a coalition. The first time I went to D.C., I had to go by myself, but now we went with a coalition because there's a coalition now.
Yeah, but you're your head in the coalition, and I think you're.
No, I was invited. Actually, I was invited by the Denver mayor. He organized that trip, and he set up the meetings. He did the coordination of those meetings. So I'm happy now that you're the geese, the goose who's flying. Your wings get tired. Now someone else can take the lead. I'm happy to see the Chicago mayor and the Denver mayor are now taking, front and center and adding their voice to it. So it doesn't seem like this is only what Eric Adams is saying as the mayor of New York.
In retrospect, would you have handled that situation differently? Because obviously there was criticism that you got to D.C. and you turned around right away. Would you have done it differently today? No.
My style of leadership is to be on the ground when things happen. I do it from everything from if there's a shooting, if there's a major fire. People say, well, let your fire commissioner handle that. No, I'm the mayor. People elected me as the mayor. Listen, I had a young 25-year-old young lady who was an intern that I watched have a promising career as a fundraiser. And something emotionally devastating like this happened to her. I didn't communicate with her on that day, but I wanted to be back in the city to make sure that things were stable. When you have something impactful like that, that's an impactful experience to go through. And I wanted to be in the city. And that's just how I lead. People who have followed me for years know I'm a front and center type leader. And if we didn't have those two other mayors there, that would be a different situation. But we had the organizer of the trip that was there, and we had the mayor from the second largest city, Chicago, that was there, and so they were able to hold it down. I'm going to return to D.C. to continue to push this issue.
When are you going? Do you have a date yet?
No, we're putting through the date. We have some clergy leaders that they have reached out to me. They want to join me because they realize the impact of their food pantries, the impact of their parishioners, because everyone is overtaxed. You go to your local food pantries and they're telling you that, listen, we're running out of food faster because we are trying to deal with this overwhelming 140,000, close to 140,000 migrant and asylum seekers that reached our city, 65,000 still in our care, and they are impacting every service that you provide.
Speaking of impacting every service, what do you say to the New Yorkers who work, who pay taxes in this city, who can't afford health care? What do you say to those people right now as we, roll out the welcome mat?
Well, I think that what we are doing, there's no New Yorker that can't get emergency care if they need it. Our safety net hospitals, H&H, during emergencies, we don't turn people away.
I know, but we're going to be facing major cuts.
Oh, we
are.
In the city. We are, and it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot.
But is that fair to the people of New York City who work so hard?
No, it's not. No, it's not. And we fight on behalf of working class people, and all that we do, we have a working class people agenda, and it's not fair to them what we're seeing. And that is why we're asking all of our local electeds to raise their voices, to call on Washington to do the right thing for New Yorkers and other cities across the country.
What do you tell President Biden? If you had the chance to sit down with President Biden, what would you say to him?
And what I share with him in every communication, we need a decompression strategy that this goes throughout the entire country. It's a national problem. FEMA should do a better job in allocating resources. The first $850 million, our first round of that money was only $30 million, but we were spending billions of dollars. We need a real czar, in my opinion, to coordinate this. I think it should be a former military person that understands mobilization and deployment to really be able to point to and say who's controlling this initiative. And then we have to allow people to work, what is more anti-American than not having the right to work? Allow not only the migrant and asylum seekers, but allow those who are here, who are immigrants here, let them work. Give them an opportunity to contribute into our society. Now think about this for a moment. We have thousands of jobs that we can't fill. We had a lifeguard shortage. We could have easily filled those lifeguards with men and women from Ecuador, Venezuela, and other locations. And these are professionals, and so if we allow them to work, we could address our employment issue.
So this interview with Mayor Adams is part of a larger piece that I'm doing on immigration with the streaming app Fox Nation. It will drop next month, and of course we'll air some of it right here on Good Day New York.
We gotta love the fact that you don't hold back, and you have to light little fire on his feet to answer these questions, because these are questions that New Yorkers want answered.
There's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot. You'll see it on the streaming app Fox Nation, and also here on Good Day New York.
And it's a free app, so no excuse to not watch this.
There you go. Okay. Thanks so much.